240 hours. No visa, 54 countries. China's shopping doors just flung wide open, and the US might have triggered it. In a bold move that's turning heads worldwide, China has officially expanded its visa-free transit policy from just a few days to a full 10 days, 240 hours, for citizens from over 50 countries, including the United States. Effective immediately, travelers from eligible nations can now enter China without a visa through 60 major ports across 24 provinces, including Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Chengdu, and stay long enough to do far more than catch a connecting flight. And while on the surface it sounds like just another tourism update, it's really a high-stakes economic play, one that could completely flip the narrative of the US-China trade war. Because this new 240-hour visa-free policy isn't just about letting in tourists. It's about turning China into the world's largest luxury outlet mall. And Americans, the very people these tariffs were supposed to protect, are suddenly booking flights, bypassing import duties, and buying directly from Chinese factories and storefronts. Trump raised the walls, but China opened the gates. And in this video, we're breaking down exactly how this visa shift, paired with smart tax policy and some perfectly timed viral content, has turned the trade war upside down, and why the US may have just handed China a brand new market gift-wrapped. Here's what's actually going on. In December 2024, China announced a major upgrade to its visa-free transit program. Instead of 72 or 144 hours, foreign travelers from 54 countries, including the US, UK, Canada, Australia, much of Europe, and more, can now enter China for up to 240 hours. No visa required. That's 10 days of open access, just by transiting through China on the way to another country. You don't need a tour group, a work invitation, or even a special visa stamp. Just a valid passport, a confirmed onward ticket, and an entry through one of 60 designated ports across 24 provinces. Some of the newly added ports: Yiwu, the world's Christmas decoration capital; Hainan, China's duty-free luxury island; Sanya, Wenzhou, Chengdu, Tianfu, Haikou, Nanchang, Zhangjiajie; and expanded coverage in full provinces like Anhui, Guizhou, and Fujian. China didn't just open borders, it opened the entire supply chain, and it didn't happen in a vacuum. Because just weeks earlier, Donald Trump had reignited his trade war, slapping 145% tariffs on Chinese goods, everything from electronics and textiles to luxury fashion. The idea? Make Chinese products more expensive and bring American buyers back to US companies. But instead, those same American buyers did the math and booked a flight to China.
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little, very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have an Hermes bag, and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else, like leathers, zippers, and hardware, remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer, and be a real person. Buy a bag from us, from our factory in China. See the real world for yourself. recognize this style, this bag? Of course you do. For the past more than 30 years, we have been the OEM factory for most of the luxury brands around the world. Gucci, Prada, Coach, Louis Vuitton, you name it. But for this, I am not proud because we were only making our wages. The profit margin for the people who are actually making the bags are very low. What I'm really proud of is that first, we have the best quality control. Two, we have the best craftsmanship. You know, Chinese craftsmen are always intelligent and diligent. Three, we have the most complete supply chain. We always get what we want, like zippers, accessories of any kind, any color, and leathers immediately. Now, as the USA and its little European brothers are trying to refuse Chinese goods, don't you think luxury brands are not trying to move their OEM out of China? Yes, they did, but they failed. Because the OEM factories out of China, they don't have good quality control, and they don't have as good craftsmanship. Their workers are either too expensive or too lazy. Three, they don't have any supply chain. They always have trouble getting leather or zippers or any accessories. That is why they failed, and that is why we will always be the best OEM factory for luxury brands. Why don't you just contact us and buy from us? You won't be.
Your made in Italy Gucci 80% come from Chinese factory. They just add the logo in Europe to make you pay the price of 10 times. Close your eyes. If your hammer says made in China, does it feel cheaper? No, that's not quality issue. It's luxury brand washing. Fun fact, the hand stitching your product, 42% are Chinese artisans. We don't do cheap, we do underrated luxury. Why pay 2,000 Europe for Parisian air? Same leather, same craft, just without the European fairy tale facts. Be a luxury rebel, you can shop on Chinese platforms such as Taobao, 1688, Tianmao, Jingdong. You can even go directly to Guangzhou, Yiwu, Quanzhou, Wenzhou to buy. Don't know how to buy, how to pay, or arrange delivery? Just PM me. GoNest to provide free shopping guidance and shipping services for you.
Here's how it backfired. Fast. Let's say you're an American shopper eyeing a designer bag. In the US, that item might now cost $5,000, thanks to newly hiked tariffs on luxury goods made in China. But in Shanghai, that same item, same brand, same factory, is still around $2,000. And now, with China's 11% instant tax refund at the point of purchase, you're walking away paying closer to $1,780. That's a $3,000 savings, enough to cover round-trip airfare, hotels, food, and still leave room for souvenirs. And this is no niche hack. Yiwu, the city that makes 90% of America's Christmas decorations, is suddenly seeing a surge in Western tourists, not just to browse, but to bulk buy. SKP Mall in Chengdu, Nanjing Road in Shanghai, and boutique zones across Shenzhen are now training English-speaking staff to serve American shoppers. Tourists from the US, EU, and Canada are being targeted with digital shopping tours, package flights, hotel discounts, and guided tax refund processing. What was meant to restrict imports is now sending US dollars directly into the Chinese economy via tourists who are skipping tariffs by showing up in person. But here's the wild part. China planned for this. In April 2025, just days after Trump's latest tariff announcement, Chinese officials rolled out nationwide instant VAT refunds. No airport lines, no waiting. You get your money back at the register. Use Alipay, WeChat, even a foreign credit card, and walk out with cash savings. It's the duty-free model, but applied to the entire country. But this isn't just about price tags and refunds. It's about perception. Enter iShowSpeed, one of America's most influential Gen Z creators with over 37 million subscribers. His live streams from Beijing and Shanghai didn't just go viral. They changed minds. Over 6 hours of unscripted footage showed him climbing the Great Wall, playing pickup basketball with Chinese teens, diving into dumpling stalls, and even goofing around with locals who didn't speak a word of English. And it resonated.
The industry to wrap it up. Inside the London for short.
His streams pulled in 10 million views in a matter of days. And what did his audience see? Not propaganda, not tension, not the enemy. They saw a clean, tech-savvy, welcoming China with fast Wi-Fi, friendly people, and world-class infrastructure. That's something no political press conference can accomplish. State media in China instantly capitalized on the momentum, praising the streams as a bridge of understanding. Meanwhile, major shopping centers began offering custom tours for international influencers, even inviting them to stream tax-free shopping experiences in real time. This isn't just tourism, this is retail diplomacy, and China is winning the algorithm. While Western headlines focus on tariffs and political posturing, platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram are feeding millions of people a different story. Visa-free travel, luxury brands, tax-free, cultural experiences, and personal freedom, all cheaper than back home. China isn't just exporting goods anymore, it's exporting a lifestyle. So what does China do next? It scales fast. What was meant to restrict imports is now sending US dollars directly into the Chinese economy via tourists who are skipping tariffs by showing up in person. But here's the wild part. China planned for this. In April 2025, just days after Trump's latest tariff announcement, Chinese officials rolled out nationwide instant VAT refunds. No airport lines, no waiting. You get your money back at the register. Use Alipay, WeChat, even a foreign credit card, and walk out with cash savings. It's the duty-free model, but applied to the entire country. But this isn't just about price tags and refunds. It's about perception. Meanwhile, in the US, retailers are bleeding. Supply chains are disrupted. Tariffs are pricing products out of reach. Shoppers are skipping local malls and booking flights instead. A luxury handbag in the US now competes not with another brand, but with an international round-trip shopping trip to China. Even college students are organizing group trips to sidestep tariffs. China buying clubs now function like student exchange programs with spreadsheets, itineraries, and TikTok guides on where to shop, how to claim tax refunds, and how to navigate train stations in Hangzhou. And for US businesses, there's no good counter. Because while the US tried to limit Chinese imports, it accidentally encouraged Americans to become the importers themselves. So, where does all this leave us? With a trade war that was supposed to isolate China, actually giving it a new lane to expand. Trump's tariffs were designed to cripple exports, protect US industries, and punish unfair trade practices. But in trying to build a wall around the American consumer, Washington forgot one thing: consumers have passports, and China opened the door. In less than 6 months, Beijing turned a political confrontation into a market opportunity, reframing itself from the world's factory to the world's showroom. And it did it not by lowering prices or flooding ports, but by raising its hospitality, simplifying its policies, and letting influencers do the marketing. The result? A shift in momentum, a shift in perception, and maybe a shift in power. Because this isn't just about bags, shoes, or holiday ornaments. This is about how the global economy actually works now. Not from government to government, but from person to person. If a middle-class American can save thousands by flying to Beijing, that's not just a good deal. That's a new normal. And China knows it.